All right, BYU still tied atop the Big 12 at 6-2 in league and 9-2 overall heading into this weekend's regular season finale against Houston. BYU will be playing in the Big 12 title game if the Cougs beat Houston and get a loss by either Iowa State or Arizona State. This is the Coordinator's Corner. It's our third segment of the show. Switching gears from special teams to defense, joined by defensive coordinator, safeties coach, and associate head coach Jay Hill. Coach Hill, good to see you as always.
Yep, great to be
one final time this year. How would you characterize the team's mindset going into this past weekend's game in Tempe?
Well, I thought we were good. I thought we had a wake-up call against Kansas. I thought practices went pretty good, but obviously we came out with a very slow start on both sides of the ball, and so you always worry about those games bleeding over to the next one when you're winning, and then all of a sudden you lose when you worry about it bleeding over, and it looked like it did.
You had to defend a short field to open the game. Coach Poppinga said, hey, whether it's short or long, the defense has one job to do. ASU did do their job on the short field.
Well, they did. Their offense went right down and marched down and scored, and I thought we had many opportunities to get them behind the chains on that drive. Too many missed tackles, too many missed assignments that just doomed us, and they went right down the field and took momentum, got the crowd into it, and it hurt us for what we needed to get established early.
They funnel it to a couple of primary targets. Of course, number 4 Cam Skattebo at running back and 0 Tyson the wide receiver. So much of their offense predicated on those two guys getting going.
Well, they do, and they're great players. We knew that going in. We knew we were going to have to stop those two guys. It was all over our sheets and our goals and everything we had going into the game. Thought we had a pretty good game plan to get it done, and bottom line, you got to give Arizona State a lot of credit. They executed when they needed to.
One of your safeties ended up ending their second drive of the game. Tanner Wall picks up his third interception of the season on drive number 2.
Well, this is a great job. We talked to our defensive line a lot about getting their hands up and tipping balls this week. And obviously John Nelson does a great job of getting his hand here on the ball, and it pops right to Tanner, and a huge play, right? I don't see the block in the back right there, quite frankly, and we lose a bunch of yards on where that ball could have been for the offense.
Right. It was farther up. In fact, by the time the next drive ends, I don't think it was back to that line of scrimmage you would have had if they didn't make that call. ASU did score a TD on the next possession to make it 14-0. Cam Skattebo scores again. Compare Skattebo to the other good Big 12 backs you've seen this year.
Well, he's one of the toughest guys in the country, and I heard going into that game he was second in the country in yards after contact, and really the majority of his yards come after contact, and so you got to give him credit. He's a tough kid. He's a great player. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards this year, and he had another big game against us, which hurts because I thought we had a game plan to contain him.
Momentum moment for ASU when they went up 14-0. They did the squib. We broke it down with Coach Poppinga pretty well, and that was another short field situation after that you had to defend.
Well, we had a couple short fields, but again, that's something that we thrived on early in the year. We had short fields over and over against SMU in that game, and I thought our defense did a phenomenal job of just stepping up and getting back out of those drives. We did not respond early in this game the way I think we should have.
Yeah, of the 3 ASU touchdowns in the first half, 2 did come on the shorter fields. That's the way it was. Little shot in the arm, though, before the break. The Will Farron field goal. So you're 21-3, you're on the board. What were some talking points you wanted your coaches and players to be considering at halftime? Well,
really, the reality was I thought we blitzed in that first half right into the teeth of their runs like 6 or 7 times. And instead of getting tackles for losses or short gains, they were getting yards on us. And it put us in too many third and shorts. And you can't, against a running back like that, you got to stay in third and longer situations. And we talked about that all week, and we did not execute that well in the first half, and we did a much better job of it in the second half.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the second half and close Coach Hill's book on that ASU game and look ahead to Houston. Tomorrow night, join us for our season finale of BYU football with Kalani Sitake as the coach and a special guest, or guests. I think might have some multiple seniors with us tomorrow. We'll take a look back at this past weekend and ahead to the Houston game. You can watch the show tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern on the BYUtv app or ESPN+. Coming up next, a final segment with BYU coach Jay Hill. As the Coordinator's Corner continues, we are brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys.
Coordinator's Corner is presented by JCW's The Burger Boys, Siegfried and Jensen, helping Utah families for over 30 years, and Smith's, Low prices, market fresh.
You're in the Coordinator's Corner, brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys. This is our season finale on the show. Just one game to go in the regular season. It's this Saturday, a clash of the Cougars at LaVell Edwards Stadium. BYU home to Houston. The home team, 9-2 overall, 6-2 in league, and playing for a spot in the Big 12 title game. If some things break BYU's way, Houston simply playing for pride at the end of the year. It's our final segment with BYU defensive coordinator Jay Hill. We headed to the break with BYU down 21-3 at ASU. But what a second half rally for BYU. And the first big blow in the comeback was dealt on defense. You held Arizona State out of the end zone after a lengthy drive for them opening half number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I was very happy with the players and how they stood up in the red zone and got out of that drive. We need to do a much better job on defense of getting the ball to our offense quicker. And we're letting offenses right now go on sustained drives. We got to get out of things quicker, get the ball back to the offense.
Great stand here. We see first down and second down. Third is the throwback to the tight end off of his fingertips in the end zone, and then fourth down pressure and a throwaway basically through the end zone.
Yep, and again, there's some opportunities where we had to be a little bit closer in those coverages and maybe got the interception on third down if we just are a little bit tighter where we should have been.
Momentary setback after BYU scored a touchdown to make it 21-9 because they hit on a 61-yard touchdown strike to widen the lead again. It would be their final score of the game, though, to make it give them 28 on the night.
Well, this was a disappointing play in this game, and we've been good at communication in the secondary. This is absolutely a blown coverage, safety in the corner not on the same page, and we give up a shot in a really critical, crucial part of the game. So that's disappointing. We've been so good at that this year. To do it in that stage was disappointing.
Again, that was their final score as BYU just kept the heat on offensively. The offense got going and got scoring. It was 28-23 ASU late. You needed to give the O one more shot, and you did that on a fourth down stop with 2:40 to play.
Yeah, I thought the way the offense was moving it, if we could just get out of a drive and get the offense the ball back. The ASU was on their heels. They looked tired, and the offense really did just march right down the field and have an opportunity for the win. But this is another situation where getting out of the drive a little bit quicker and getting the offense maybe 2 opportunities at the end instead of just the one would have been such a huge deal.
So after the BYU interception on the final full possession, the end of the game was nothing if not chaotic. It was crazy. It was at some points seeming a little bit dangerous for the people who were on the field. A bizarre ending. There's a lot of things to nitpick about how the final moments played out. It was chaos down there.
Well, it was, and unfortunately, I get it's got to be very difficult to stop fans from storming fields because there's just so many of them. They can overwhelm security and stuff, but that's got to be handled in a much better way, and especially the way they handled it, because players and administrators and everybody were in danger down there. Now, I was up in the box coming down, so I didn't see it all, but that does get to be a very dangerous situation for the players and the coaches that are down there.
Ultimately, the Cougars did get one final crack from midfield, and yes, a completion is made, which wasn't, by the way, ruled a completion there for some reason. A couple yards short, you end up falling at 28-23. It's a tough setback, and now it's time to bounce back once again.
Yeah, bounce back. You can't cry over spilled milk. We lost. You give Arizona State a ton of credit. They came out and did what they needed to do to win the game. They put our backs against the wall in the second half, and I thought we responded well, but it was too little too late. And we need to do a much better job of getting off to those fast starts like we did at Baylor, like we did at UCF, and some of those games where we came out of the gates on both sides of the ball, complementing each other. We have not done that in the last 3 games.
So you know that it's now not totally in your hands. You've got to win your game, certainly, and then hope for a little bit of help. But neither of the results you need would be considered out of the realm of possibility. And in this Big 12, or week to week, you just don't know. I think you've got yourselves a pretty good shot.
Well, we have a great shot, and we got to handle our own business. And it's been that way for the last 2 weeks. We just got to go in and handle our own business. Don't worry about all the other stuff that can happen. We got a chance to send the seniors out with 10 wins, and hopefully things fall in our favor. But we need to have pride in just winning winning this game and sending the seniors out the right way.
Let's take a look at this weekend's game. We'll preview the Houston Cougars now, brought to you by Intermountain Health, the official medical provider for BYU Athletics. UH coming in. They held Baylor to just 20 points, by the way. Baylor had been cooking the last few weeks, and Baylor won at 20-10 against Houston this past weekend. But I think the Houston defense showed something.
Well, Houston's defense has done a good job all year. We've seen them multiple times on crossover film. I think that they do a good job up front with their defense. They have some athletic guys on both sides of the ball. I think they do a good job of running it with their quarterback, and their running backs are athletic. So we got our work cut out for us. I think this is another Big 12 team that the record doesn't necessarily match how they've played. And if you look at the teams they beat some really good teams in this league,
including K-State.
K-State.
Yeah. So they're 4-7 overall, 3-5 in league, so they'll not play in a bowl game. They've never beaten BYU. Cougs have the 3-0 all-time edge. They do lag in a lot of offensive numbers. They're 133rd in scoring offense, last in red zone offense, so they all vulnerable offensively right now.
Well, they are, and we need to take that as a challenge to us to continue to keep them down. We need to come back with a great game ourselves. I thought we played very good against Kansas, and then we rebounded this week, and I don't think we were as good against Arizona State, and that was disappointing to me. That lies on my shoulders. I take that very hard and at heart. So hopefully we respond the right way defensively and come in and play like I know we can.
I know you would love to get another crack at Arizona State in the Big 12 title game. You'll play anybody in the Big 12 title game, no matter who it is. To get there, you got to take care of your business, and that means Houston.
Yeah, whoever it is, we got to win. We got to beat Houston. Hopefully we get another crack at Arizona State. I'm praying they win. I'm praying the other team doesn't, because I want another crack at that game. Just for what we had dialed up and how I thought the game would go, it didn't. And again, give Arizona State a lot of credit, but now this still truly rests on our shoulders to get it done.
Coach Hill, good luck this week, and thank you for the season of shows with us here.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
All right, thank you, Jay. You can get ready for BYU and Houston this Saturday with BYU Sports Nation Game Days. Expanded pregame coverage begins more than 2 hours prior to kickoff at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain Time on BYUtv. When we come back, offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick joins us as the Coordinator's Corner continues. We are brought to you, as always, by JCW's The Burger Boys. Back with Coach A-Rod after this.